Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I'm going to show you 7 tricks stores use to make you spend more money. And once you know how these tricks work, it will be very hard to shop without feeling like you got tricked. So stay till the end, because I'm saving the best trick for last. So number 1 is something called price lining. Now this is where a store intentionally puts certain items at a certain price point to make you buy more things. For example, you have a t-shirt that costs $24.99 and another one that costs $29.99. What's more likely to happen? The more expensive shirt is going to look more expensive in your mind, therefore making the cheaper shirt look way more valuable. The same concept applies to all different types of products and stores. That SYULLC, sometimes the price is ending in 9, and other times in 5 or even 0. No. 2 is bait pricing. Now, bait pricing is when a store uses a popular product or a group of products to attract customers into their store. But once they get there, they realize the advertised item is either out of stock or not worth the hype. So then they end up buying something else instead. Have you ever seen an ad for a TV that says limited stock available? And then you go to the store and the first thing you do is look for that TV? And no matter where you look, you just can't seem to find it. There are 2 reasons for this. One is they actually did sell some of those TVs, but the new ones that are now in stock don't look as good to you. Or 2, they never actually had that TV in stock in the first place. It was just an advertisement to get you into the store. Here's an interesting fact. Have you ever noticed that when you walk into a grocery store, you always turn right? Well, it turns out 70% of people actually turn left when they enter the store. But grocery stores are designed in a way where if you enter through those automatic doors, you're going to be pushed to the right. Once inside, you can't really change direction without bumping into someone or something. This is done so you pass by all the staple products that are right next to the entrance before you actually get into the store. This includes things like milk, eggs, and bread, which are the main things you go to the grocery store for anyway. And this also ensures that you pass by all the high profit margin products that are unnecessarily the main reason you went to the store in the first place. These are things like chips, candy, and soda. And on top of that, they put all these items at eye level, which means you're most likely to pick them up and put them in your cart. On top of that, you're more likely to buy items that are on the outer edges of the shelves rather than the middle, because that's what you see first. This is called the eye level effect. In fact, studies show that we are 38% more likely to pick up and purchase a product if it's at eye level. And 14% of all grocery products are actually placed at this perfect eye level height. Number 3 is scarcity. A scarcity is when a store creates a sense of urgency to convince you to buy a product faster. This could be done with phrases like "while supplies last" or "this deal ends soon." But aside from these phrases, another big indicator that scarcity is being used against you is the placement of the items. You see, when you walk into a store, you're most likely to look at the fully stocked shelves first. But as you move throughout the store, you start to notice empty spots on the shelves, which brings up a sense of urgency. It's like if you keep passing by a shelf that has less and less toilet paper. You grab a few extra rolls the next time you go back to that shelf because you do and want to run out. Now, this same concept applies to clothing. You know how sometimes you walk past a rack of clothes and you see something you like, but you're not sure if you want to buy it or not. But after you pass it a few more times and you see that it's slowly getting picked over, you're more likely to buy it just in case it sells out. This is called the fear of missing out, or FOMO for short. And it's one of the strongest motivators that drives our purchasing decisions. Now moving on to no, for we have loss aversion. Now this is a psychological phenomenon where the pain of losing something is psychologically twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something. For example, if you had a choice between gaining $100 for sure and a 50% chance of gaining $200, most people would choose the guaranteed $100. But if you framed the situation differently, like you'd lose $100 for sure, or a 50% chance of losing $200, most people would choose the 50-50 chance. The second option is more risky, but it has the potential for a bigger reward. So how does this relate to shopping? Well, it turns out that many stores have started implementing loss aversion into their marketing strategies. Let me explain. Have you ever seen a sale where they say buy one, get 150 off? Sounds like a great deal, right? Let's say you only wanted to buy one item. Well, now you're faced with a difficult decision. You have to decide between buying one item at full price or buying two items and getting the second one for free. And in this scenario, buying two seems like the better option. But what if I told you that the second item that you're retaking for free isn't really free? See, the second item is costing you the price of the first item. When in reality, you're only saving 50% of the price of the second item. The way this works is that the first item acts as bait to get you to buy the second item, which is the real purpose of the sale. And this is called loss aversion. They're basically convincing you that by not taking the second item, you're giving up 50% of the price, which is a loss, and nobody likes losing. Now, moving on to no. 5. We have anchoring. Anchoring is where a store sets an extremely high price, then discounts it to make it seem like a much better deal than it actually is. Have you ever been to a store where everything has a red price tag? Oh, this is anchoring. They are re-putting an extremely high price on everything to make the sale price seem like a huge discount. It's the same reason why real estate agents always show you the house for $1 million first. Then when you see the final price, it seems much lower. In fact, the average person spends about 22 minutes looking at the first page of Amazon's search results. But according to research, 66% of shoppers will scroll down to the second page, which is often where the best deals are. So when you see a product on the first page with a high price tag, keep in mind it might be there just to anchor all the other prices on the second page and make them look much smaller. Moving on to no. 6. We have decoy pricing. Now, this is where a store will add an item to a group of similar items to make the most expensive one seem like the cheapest option. For example, let us say you have a t-shirt for $20 and a jacket for $100. But if you add a third jacket for $200, it makes the $100 jacket seem much more reasonable. And this is exactly how decoy pricing works. The jacket for $200 is the decoy, and its purpose is to make the $100 jacket seem like the best choice. In fact, you are 263 more likely to buy the medium option when given 3 choices compared to only 2. And the weird thing is that decoy pricing works, even if the decoy option is obviously a bad choice. For example, you have a small, medium, and large pizza. Small is $10, and medium is $15, and large is $25. But if you add an extra large for $50, it makes the medium size seem like the best deal. And finally, number 7 is something called the broken window fallacy. And this is a cognitive bias where you're more likely to spend money when you see a store with a messy window or display. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would a messy window convince me to buy more stuff? Well, the idea is that if a store CA and take care of the most basic things, like cleaning their windows, how can I trust them to take care of anything else? Like, what if a store doesn't clean their windows because they're too busy serving customers? Well, that sounds great for the customer, right? But here's the thing. The broken window fallacy suggests that customers who go into stores with dirty windows spend 16 more money than those who go into stores with clean windows. And the reason for this is that the customer feels obligated to help the store owner by spending more money. In fact, just seeing a broken window makes you think that the store needs your help and support. So next time you walk past a store with a broken window, feel free to help them out. Now, since you made it to the end of this video, I've got a bonus tip for you. It's called the IKEA effect. And it says that we tend to value things that we build ourselves, even if they're not very good. IKEA knows this, which is why they designed furniture that is easy to assemble. Because the moment you put that furniture together, you're more likely to love it and cherish it forever. And the same goes for other things in life. If you put effort into something, you're more likely to value it more. And that's why you should try to build and develop the skills that you need rather than trying to buy them. If you tried to hire someone to do everything you needed, you'd probably go bankrupt. But if you take the time to learn to do things yourself, you'll save money in the long run. If you enjoyed this video, check out the next one where I talk about the science of making money.